Okay. Let me check to see if it's working. Is it working? Check to see if it's working. Yes, it is. Okay. At some point, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop doing this to myself, where I say, "Is it working? Is it working?" And it always is. But you never know.
Redgrave and its surrounding cities have ceased to function as a result of a mysterious tree that apparently attacked the city approximately 1 month ago. In light of this incident, the government... They're demons! I've seen it with my own eyes! Redgrave is completely taken over! Let us pray for mercy.
Okay. We're on mission 6 on Son of Sparta mode. I'm going to try to get through Son of Sparta mode, and I'm going to try to S rank as much as I possibly can. Although, to be perfectly honest, I'm like... I'm not sure if I'll be able to do the Griffin, Shadow, and Nightmare mission, because that one is hell. It is very hard to S rank that. Okay, but here we are with Gilgamesh. Or Devil Steel, the monster. I do like the fact that they call this things, the metal this thing's made of, just Gilgamesh. Like, it's kind of raw, actually. But yeah, this is like a whole level. That's... oh, okay. This whole fight is just a level. No ambiguity. But yeah, Gilgamesh is not a fun fight. He really isn't. Yeah, he's kind of boring. Oh yeah, I can't even jump away. Great. Oh boy. Normally I'd be able to beat this thing no problem, but like... I'm kind of off today, you know? Ah. Yeah, it's gonna be like this. Oof. Yikes. Then he just falls. Please die. Of course he didn't die. There we go. Not a fun fight. Not my favorite. And once you get used to the rules, it's kind of easier, but then it's just a face roll fight, so it's like, why even bother? Seriously. I do think the idea is neat, like an entire level where you're just chasing this boss around, but like, it's not even a situation where it's a level, it's just an arena. And nothing else. Alright. This one's always interesting. So this is actually a dual level. You can play as V or you can play as Nero. And they each have their own parts in this one area. And you can even affect another player's run by, say, having Nero use his Devil Breaker, the ragtime one. Which I always thought was really cool.
Show me your motivation.
Okay. It's gonna do the thing eventually. There we go. Okay.
Wasting my time.
But this side would be Nero's side. Sorry, not V's side, but V's is on the other side. But say, if you wanted to help some other players out during that part of the level, you'd want to like bring Ragtime with you and just do its breakage over and over again. And what that would do would be it would make it so everything for the V player is slowed down. So they'd be able to like fight slowed down enemies, and it'd be really helpful for them. So consider that when you're playing. Like your ghost data can actually be really useful if you're playing as Nero, because you can give them free time slows.
Let's have some fun.
Okay. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can access the other part of the run, or the other part of this level after I'm done here. But first things first. Oh man, I love this right here. The way this level sort of warps a bit and suddenly turns into Silent Hill. Like, it has a few places like this, and they're all really cool. I just love how that works, where the levels just get more corrupted. Man, playing this kind of makes me want to play Dragon's Dogma, though. Dragon's Dogma is a good game once you get used to it. When you first start playing it, it's actually kind of hard. And not in the sense that, like, it's poorly designed, it's just... it's so unique that you won't really know how to play it at first. And you'll think, man, this game sucks. Can't believe I bought this game, it's bad. And then you find out later on, like, oh no, you gotta use the abilities. Use up stamina. You have to climb certain monsters at certain times and hit their weak points. Then you start finding like it has a lot of the same rules as a character action game like Devil May Cry, but it also observes the law of being an RPG, so you have to level up a lot. I like to say once you start getting used to the mechanics of the game and all the cool hidden shit, Dragon's Dogma is like really fun. But it's that like period of first starting it and you're like, oh my god, this game sucks. Why would I play this? The Ox Cart section is bad. Don't be fooled, the Ox Cart section is like a... it's fun in its own right, but it is slow as molasses and turns a lot of players off. So if you're on the fence about that game, don't be. It's good. I was paid to say this, probably.
You think you stand a chance?
Okay. Now, something I really like about Devil May Cry 5 is it actually takes a few design notes from Dragon's Dogma. And I noticed that during the time that Monster Hunter World Iceborne and Devil May Cry 5 came out, both of those games shared elements that seemed directly inspired by Dragon's Dogma. So, like, Goliath and his mouth stomach thing is like a direct reference to the diamond from Dragon's Dogma. Nightmare behaves almost exactly like a souped-up golem from Dragon's Dogma. The red dragon, Safi'jiiva, from Monster Hunter World Iceborne, is literally just like a really, really close... I wouldn't say it's like super close to Grigori, but it looks a lot like him. Like, it feels like it's like somebody's idea of, okay, well, let's make a dragon that looks really similar to Grigori from Dragon's Dogma. And it just goes on, you know? So that made me happy, because it felt like those games were kind of like implying that, oh yeah, by the way, we really like Dragon's Dogma. Maybe something's coming out. And when the leak came out, the Dragon's Dogma 2 might be on the works, a lot of people got hyped. Myself included. We were hoping there'd be like a reveal or something in one of the upcoming E3, right? And holy shit, was that disappointing. Because E3 turned out to be nothing but nothing. It was such a nothing showcase. They may as well not have held it. Yeah, I sure do love a racing game with extremely hyper-realistic graphics. That's what the cool kids want. Right. Not knocking anybody who does love that, but like I'm into this shit. I'm into killing demons with swords and shit, you know? This right here. This is my jam. actually gave me back all my devil trigger meter. They knew exactly what you want to do too. That's great. Oh, this game is awesome. Yeah, that long kataton is actually, I think, based on Sparta's intro in Devil May Cry 1, because there's like a whole cutscene. It's like, oh, by the way, Sparta existed. He was a cool motherfucker. He was practically the Batman of Devil May Cry. And then he died. But during that intro, he does a lot of like kung fu shit and stuff, and a lot of that is in Vergil's kataton.
Let's have some fun.
Okay, and I'm basically right now I'm trying to farm some red orbs so I can eventually get that cool dance taunt, because I like that one, and it's also like really funny. It's probably one of his best taunts. But it's basically the super cool red orb taunt. It just gives you red orbs because you no longer even need to like farm them once you get that. Speaking of which, I should probably do something about that. What do you mean, dismal? There we go. Up next, we've got another, I want to say, pseudo boss fight, and this is the this is a upgraded Nello, upgraded Proto Angelo and upgraded. They're Angelos basically. They're like mini Nello Angelos. Now the cool thing about Vergil's attack here is it actually shatters shields. So if you're having a hard time with these guys, just do that, you know? Ouch. Now when I saw this in the demonstration during E3 for the very first game, the very first, like, ooh. When I saw this guy in the, in demonstration they were doing for an E3, I was really hyped, because I was like, oh my god, something related to Nello Angelo's back. Now the funny thing is, these guys are actually just downgraded Nello Angelos, because they can't do half the shit that Nello Angelo could. They're fun mechanically, but they're also really tanky. Especially on Dante Must Die. But they have like a red state, where they become a lot tankier, they deal a lot more damage, and also they just, they just have a lot of health, to the point where you'd be forgiven for assuming they just developed a second health bar and reset their phase. They're like the worst part of a DMD run, so you want to kill them as quickly as you can, every chance you get. Don't let them enter the red state, because if they do, it'll be like you fought them a second time. Okay, but there's that done. Alright. One thing I'm not a fan of is DT doesn't carry over per level, but that might be a good thing. Kind of like how pistol starting every level in Doom makes the levels more fun, you know? But it would be nice if some of my resources carried over.
Shall I entrust it to him? There's no time for doubt. I know what must be done.
So normally, Devil May Cry 5 level, what you want to do if we want to guarantee S ranks is just ignore the enemies that you're not locked into fighting. So if you want to do like a true S rank run, you do that, you know? You just skip these guys altogether, because the score averages out. But then you also wouldn't be able to build up the resources you need, so like... Don't give these guys a chance to breathe. Because if you do, they will completely mess you up. Like every time I know one of those guys is coming out, it's on sight. I just do the super move, try to kill them as quick as I can. Because Furies in this game are kind of like the nicer version of Blitz for Devil May Cry 4. You still can't hit them most of the time, but they don't hurt you for hitting them either. But man, they're still not a fun enemy. Like, unless you really like deflecting and slowly chipping away at them, just kill them right out the gates. Don't even play around. I try to avoid toying with Furies because those guys will just drag the fight out as much as they can. And it's a losing battle a lot of the time. If you don't know what you're doing, it's like... you don't want to fight those things. Having said that, there are some cool ways you can mess around with them, like sort of make them an easier fight, you know? Like, for example, this attack causes a sort of neutral bounce effect on enemies, right? And what that does is it actually resets their, I guess, script or whatever. So you do this to a Fury, it's going to be in a knockdown state and take damage for a few hits. So if you do it to them again, during that time, you'll loop them into a knockdown state, and they just can't do shit. Nero also has an attack that he can follow up any attack with. You have to unlock it, of course, but it does that same thing where it causes like the neutral bounce where they're in a knockdown loop. And when you're playing as Nero, you definitely want to get them in that state and keep them there at all costs. And don't overdo your attacks. Give them 2 hits, then do the bounce attack. I'm describing this very poorly, but that's like an exploit in the game's combat you can do. And it's very useful. But yeah, this right here, that bounce, it's really useful. I guess in a fighting game it'd be like putting them in a juggle state and resetting the juggle state, you know? Of course, don't juggle Furies. And don't ever juggle a Fury if you can help it. They can escape that. Ah, fuck. Well, I goofed that up. Should just try to skip. Anyway. This is technically an avoidable fight, but you have to, like, be really good at air juggling, and I'm off my game today. Hold that thought. Alright. Okay, based on this mission, I think we're in one of Nero's Urizen fight missions. So there's going to be like a version of Urizen that you're supposed to fight, and then there's a version of Urizen you probably shouldn't ever fight. Which is when he finally stands up from the throne. And if that sounds familiar, that's because it's basically the same vibe as No Heart from Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Who is a super boss in the arena from the final mix, and he is he's something else, I'll tell you. He's a lot of fun to fight, though. He's not like mysterious figure. He's actually fair. It's just holy shit, you don't want to fight him.
decided? Which one of you will die first?
There we go. S ranks all the way. As I recall, this is one of the, this or Mission 12 is one of the more challenging ones to S rank. If you're playing as like Nero or Dante. Secret? But yeah. Let me think here. Okay, yeah, there's another secret area coming up that I really don't want to mess with, if I can help it. Of course, I don't have a choice now, so... I think there's going to be some knights coming up next, but not seeing any, so I guess I'm in the clear. Funny thing is, this doesn't actually lock you out of getting up here. You can skip it if you're good at the game. It's just today I'm not feeling 100%. And also I'm bad at video games, let's be real. I seriously love the aesthetic of the Clifod. Because while it's kind of grungy and gross, that's the whole point. It's an evil demon tree. But I also like the idea of the Clifod because it's so anti-hell, but it's also interesting. The Clifod gives power to a demon who harvests its fruit. And basically turns them into a god, right? The Clifod is still poison. It's poison to humans. Demons can eat it and be just fine. But a half-demon would have trouble actually eating it, which is part of why I think Vergil separates himself, so he can be a full demon, harvest its power, and, you know, actually make use of it. So he kind of circumvented the bad parts of the Clifod, because when Dante sees Urizen eat it, he just... it hurts him. Heck, he's like, man, why would you do that? Now you're not a human anymore. That last bit of humanity you have just died. But really, Vergil just completely circumvented that. There we go. But a good chunk of the Clifod levels start getting really samey, because they're most of the levels in this game. There are a few parts of it that stand out, but like once you get into the Clifod for real, that's pretty much the entire rest of the game is just Clifod levels. And they're not bad, it's just... I really should have done something to make each part of it distinct. And back when I first played Devil May Cry, I kid you not, I played Devil May Cry 3 as my first game. And that was like the coolest shit ever. It blew my mind back when I was a kid. Because I didn't think a game could be that awesome. Like, you had, like, Dante... One of my favorite things to do was go into Gunslinger and just use the, air style attack, which is like a rainstorm, you know? And I thought that was the coolest goddamn thing ever. It was like every action movie I ever loved rolled up into a video game. So Die Hard, The Matrix, anything Arnold Schwarzenegger's in is like every bit of that game was cool. And I loved the hell out of it. Unfortunately, that also set kind of my expectations for a lot of video games. Because I thought they were all going to be this good, and nope. Unfortunately, games like Devil May Cry 3 are just really, really exceptional. So games like 3 and 5, they don't come around all that often. So it's always cause to celebrate when they do. And I think I took for granted just how good they are. Okay. You know what's funny? There's supposed to be like a hidden area in the very first part of the game, but I've never found it. I'd love to find it, but I don't know where it is. And I'm trying to S rank everything right now, so we'll see how long that lasts.
Show me your...
Now, one thing I'm really hoping for, though, is that Dragon's Dogma 2 is real. I really want a sequel to that game. Dragon's Dogma was a cool game. It was a good one. Imagine if it was better. Ah. Oh, okay. But notice how, like... Oof. Yeah, you're supposed to win this fight, but it still sucks. All that damage, I didn't do shit to him. Man. Oof. Here we go. The beast summon. Okay, this is the fight you're supposed to lose. Now the fun thing is, it's actually a decent boss fight, it's just the tentacles. The tentacles are the worst part. But I'm not gonna try to win it, because there's no point, you know? But yeah, those tentacles are the worst. Like, figuring out how to dodge them is hard. And they also try to hit you at least twice. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just taunt like crazy now. Because we're supposed to lose this fight.
You think you stand a chance?
And did I S rank? Yeah, I did. Just barely. I need to go to the main menu, actually. I need to do that one mission. Hold on. Main menu. So I completely forgot to do that. Mission select. Okay, that was mission 9. Mission 5. Which one was it again? Wait, hold on. Does Vergil only have like... Okay, I guess Vergil only has like the one side to go through. I guess it's a Nero V specific thing then. Okay, so after the Clyfod level, it's... I'm supposed to be on mission 9, I think. Because this is the Nero one, and this is the V one, so we'll need to go to that one. I've S-ranked a lot of these, it's just I have not really seriously S-ranked mission, I want to say 18? I think it's 18, yeah. Mission 18 is hell. Like, it's not fun. It kind of is, it's just like... Nero, Griffin, and Shadow don't make for good fights. I've also almost got enough for that taunt, too. Can't wait to try that out. Okay. Now this is a V mission for when he's looking for the Devil Sword Sparta. Oof.
Go to hell. You're finished. Sight.
Okay, I'm gonna go this way. See what's here. Okay.
Go to hell. This shall be your grave.
Okay, so fun fact about Summoned Swords and Mirage Edge, or Miracle Edge rather, is that they inflict a lot of stun. And that makes them very useful. It doesn't have a lot of like it doesn't have a lot of attacks. But it makes up for that with dealing a lot of hits and therefore dealing a lot of stun. And the higher concentration, the more hits it'll do.
Now you go to hell. It's over.
Damn. Now that happened. Oh. Well, I goofed up. Can I ungoof up? Nope, they accounted for that. Damn.
Now you go to hell. Clean cut down.
Ooh, okay. I goofed that up big time. So, I could just use one of these, but that'll cause a huge score penalty I don't want. So I'm just gonna restart the entire level. Okay, yeah, retry the whole mission. This time I'm gonna try not to die, cause how the fuck did I die as Vergil? Come on.
Go to hell.
But yeah, So the properties of each of Vergil's weapons will change based on how high your concentration is. For Yamato, it just hits really hard. Force Edge, it does more hits. But in Yamato's case, it gets more range too, so... For World of V, it deals way more damage, and it also heals a bit more. World of V isn't a weapon, but it's still pretty powerful. Like, it's a free heal, basically. You sacrifice all your concentration... but you heal up.
Is that all?
For the Beowulf gauntlets, its charged attacks are actually locked behind this. So up to a point you can't do as many charged attacks. And they deal, of course, more damage when your concentration is higher. Okay, so this time I'm definitely going to try to beat this thing. Damn. Okay. Alright, got the stun.
Shall I entrust it? This
There we go. Another fun thing about Beowulf that carried over from Devil May Cry 4 is this. The flashing jump thing is also like its own attack. And this makes deflecting anything really easy because your attack is also a dodge. And it has iframes. So if you ever want to safely deflect an attack, just jump. With Beowulf equipped. It's really good. Us collect red orbs. Must get all the red orbs. Gotta love that level design. Okay, I'm just gonna skip the tentacles. I'm not a fan of those. They're not enemies, they're just HP refills, but they also affect your score, so... messing with them is kind of pointless. And I think there's actually a restart penalty. Like, I think I have to actually go all the way from the menu. But I'm not sure, so we'll see. There we go. Okay. I like how this has its own sort of cute minigame where you're supposed to find all the enemies. So, the funny thing about this area here, if you get locked in here, is this is actually like a sort of fun little diversion. Where some of the coffins will have enemies in them, and you have to figure out where each enemy is, or... you have to find all the enemies, kill them all, but you can also pick them off one at a time. If you're careful.
Shall I entrust?
Alright, there we go. Cute little side game they got going on there. I think they actually let me skip an area, so that's nice. Or maybe it didn't. Not really sure, actually. No, it didn't. My sense of geography is just way off. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, this is up next. Damn, that was a really hard fight. I almost died. That would have been real unfortunate had that happened. Ha ha ha. Hee hee. Oh, ah. Yeah, I have no excuse. I died as Virgil just once. I'm bad at the game. That's basically the gist of it, like. Oh boy. I used up way too much meter, didn't I? Shit.
There is no escape.
There we go. Oh wow. S by default. Damn, that worked out. Mission 10. This is Dante's first mission. It's also really difficult to, like, actually S rank. But there are a few tricks you can do to get better at it, and like one of them is skipping the right types of fights. And there's also an exploit you can do to skip one fight. I really hate that I have to say that. Like, oh yeah, to S rank the game you have to skip certain fights. It just seems really counterintuitive, you know?
Go to hell. Silence. Is that all? Get lost. Blast. Blast. Get lost. Now get lost. Blast.
There we go. Okay, next up is the Heljudeca area, then the Fury after, sorry, after the, Chaoses, because those guys suck ass. I hate them.
Have you decided which one of you will die first? Have you decided which one of you will die first? Get lost! Have you decided There's no time for doubt. Now
Yeah, Judecas don't stun easy. Basically, how you want to normally play Vergil is this is basically your big dig damage weapon. This is your even bigger dig damage weapon. And this is your stun weapon. Use those based on whether or not you want to deal with enemies or not, or whatever.
Now you
One thing I can never get the hang of, though,
clean cut down.
is that attack. It's really hard to pull off for whatever reason.
Now you go to hell. It's over. Now you silence.
Okay, hopefully I'll have enough to one-shot that Fury. If not, this is gonna suck. Okay. Standing DT to launch. And then kill it. Bam! So, Vergil's standing Sin Devil trigger causes launch. You definitely want to launch an enemy, but you have to do it while standing still. It's sort of like Nero's DT, where standing still causes the actual attack or damage or whatever. So if you want to get really technical with Vergil, that's one thing you should do, is like pay attention to the properties of what some of his abilities do. Because both of his devil triggers actually cause launch. Like this right here is invincibility, and it also launches enemies that are right next to him. Sin DT also does that, but it's more like the I want to say pop-up attack launch, like this. Whereas the other one's just a full-blown air launch, more or less. Yeah, this may sound like heresy, but I'm actually tempted to change his battle music. Listening to the same one over and over again does get a bit old. Even if it's Bury the Light. But yeah, you can customize battle music in this game, and there are actually several tracks to pick from, which is neat. Okay, coming up next is one of the fight skips I mentioned. And this is kind of an essential one if you, like, want to S-rank this mission as Dante. Because, for whatever reason, it's really hard to do. You want to trigger this fight, and then you want to leave. And since this fight is still active, the other fight just flat out will not trigger. Like, at all. Maybe this cutscene ruins that for me, but because the fight's still active and the demons are still alert, this fight doesn't start. But you have to be quick. But yeah, here you go. Here's your skip. You can skip an entire fight, and that'll help you average out your score a bit. I hate the fact that you have to do this to get the S rank, but it's one of the methods. The others just get really, really good at the fight. I get really, really good at everything, really. Okay, hold up. Oh, no, I remember this. This is the second Fury, basically. Come on, die, die, die. Perfect. I don't think the thing refills with no enemies nearby, so... It really is just me doing this for fun. I'm amazed that they put this in. But yeah, had there been enemies nearby, that would have just fully refilled my DT if I finished it. I also like the fact that a lot of his taunts have properties to them that if you want to like get a boost, you get a specific taunt out. With the hand being the concentration filling taunt, the book being the DT filling taunt, because of course it is. That's how V fills his DT. Speaking of V, V can be very overpowered if you just use the book all the time. Like literally just read non-stop to charge his DT. Make sure you're close to enemies though, that's the important thing. Like V is a lot less fun when you don't use the book. But when you use it, you're not only flexing on enemies, you're also getting ready to summon Nightmare. And Nightmare's awesome. Okay, really don't want to spend too much time on this. But I also know that I probably don't have a choice. Ah, there goes all my concentration. I was hoping to end that one go, but I guess I don't get to do that. Wait a minute. Hold up, hold up. Aha! I knew it. More orbs. More orbs for the Rorb God. More skulls for the Skull Throne. But unlike with Dante, this fight isn't timed as far as I remember. It's just, you have to beat it as Vergil. Or at the very least, you have to, like... Oh boy. Oh boy. There we go. Oof. And that's how you beat this fight as Virgil. Did I get it? No, I didn't get it! Ah! Of course I didn't. Okay, we're gonna try this again though. I've already S-ranked it. I don't want to leave it like that, because this fight, this is one of the hard ones to S-rank. And skipping one of those fights is essential, I think. Like, I hate to frame it like that, but it really is kind of mandatory that you skip a fight. It's a tough one. It really is.
Go to hell. This barrel even counts as a warm. We both break.
But one way to handle this and to sort of max out Virgil's score would be to just spend concentration and do less damage. It's not fun, but it is what it is. Another way, the doppelganger. As the more hits you do, the higher your score gets. But notice how like the score counter is kind of going down by a lot. Like more than it should be.
Go to hell. Shall I entrust it to him? Shall I? Now go to hell!
There we go. Okay. What's the score looking like now? 5K. Oof. Yeah, it drops down by quite a bit. Now, one way to guarantee that you get like a full score is to just not take damage. But I'm bad at this game, so I never do that. Except maybe during the Gilgamesh fight. So, that's not a thing that's going to happen anytime soon. I think another avenue I want to take is skipping this area here with little bug monsters, because I don't want to deal with those. The impulses, basically. But I still want to bring my concentration up for the next one. Just gonna meticulously walk away. These guys ain't shit. I can just do this all day. But yeah, as you can see, the score just plummets the less you do. Oh, shit. Right, fight skip, fight skip. Gotta skip them fights. Did I make it? Yeah, alright, I did. Now, we're not quite out of the woods yet, because we still need to get through, I think, 2 more fights, then the Urizen, and that'll be that. So I gotta be kind of careful here. Ugh. Oh, damn.
You decide which one of
Hate fighting this thing fair.
This
Okay. Dragged that out for way too long, but it's extra points. I really ain't a fan of that one. But yeah, Mission 10 is one of those really tricky ones that's really hard to S rank, no matter what you do. But it absolutely can be done. Now, the Griffin, Nightmare, and Shadow one is very different. Like, that's a bullshit one. Flat out.
Which one of you will die first?
And now he's in red mode. Okay. That should do it for that. Okay, for the Eurozone fight, I think I'm just gonna blow as much as I can. Just blast through all of my resources, kick his ass. You only need to break the shield, so that's... It's easy enough to do. You just have to have the resources for it. And there we go. Did I get it? Oh my fucking god, I didn't. This level sucks. Okay, let me think here. I'm gonna get this time. I'm determined to at least S rank this one. I've already done it, but it's the challenge, you know? Okay.
Go to hell. Go to hell.
I'm gonna go crazy on the weapon switching and just try to S rank as much as I can. I don't think I want to skip fights right now. I'm just gonna kill everything and try to get an S rank on it.
Go to hell. Get lost. Clean cut. Don't know. Now go to hell. Go to hell.
Okay, don't have enough to easy mode the Fury, but use Beowulf and see.
We decided. This barrel counts as one. Go to hell.
There we go. Not quite what I was after, but it'll do. Technically, you get more points from doing that than just one-shotting it, but I absolutely hate Fury, so one-shot city it is.
Blast! There is no escape.
Just gonna S rank every mission or every fight I can find. Go from there. But you can see how far my scores drop down now. Like, it's not that I'm doing bad; it's that the fights are averaged out. So, the less than you do, the better your score. Yay, 100 red orbs. Totally what I wanted. Oh, those are cocoons, okay. I was looking at those thinking, man, are those some kind of like bug or something? There's no way they could be though. Okay, and here's the fight that you normally skip. Okay. And we're almost done with the fights. Yeah, score's really low right now, so it's like... Even if I do good on the majority of these, I don't think I'm actually gonna like make it through and get an S rank just by doing them all. There we are. Okay, one last fight, and then it's back to Urizen again. This is easily my most frustrating, second most frustrating area to deal with when S-ranking all the fights. Just because that score averaging.
Go to hell.
Ooh. Man. Didn't even maintain an S rank on that one. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna get it. Rank's way too low. Still. That works. 5K, 5K. Okay, we got it. We got it. Just the bare minimum, but we absolutely got it. So they did work. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break for a bit. I need to eat, so...